Good, happy Friday evening, May 1st, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Friday evening edition of Good Evening, New Hampshire, where we have a little bit of everything for everyone in this program. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this evening edition of Good Evening, New Hampshire. I hope you all enjoy watching. First up, we're going to begin with your news. We're going to begin with the local news first. First up, outdoor dining, haircuts, camping allowed with restrictions under new order. New stay-at-home order allows some businesses to reopen if they take COVID-19 precautions. Outdoor seating at restaurants, drive-in theaters, golf, and haircuts will be allowed under strict guidelines under a new stay-at-home order issued Friday by Governor Chris Sununu. The guidelines specify which services are allowed and outlines requirements for employees and customers, both of essential businesses that are already operating and any businesses that reopen in May. Sununu said the guidelines are intended to continue to slow the spread of COVID-19. Campgrounds, manufacturing services, and state parks can open immediately if they follow the guidelines. Golf course, barbers, and hair salons, retail stores, and drive-in theaters can open May 11th under certain conditions. Restaurants can begin serving customers May 18th in outdoor dining areas, as long as tables allow parties to sit at least 6 feet apart, among other conditions. Time-sensitive hospital services can begin as soon as Monday, although the timing and scope of services should be determined by each hospital, following guidelines from the state and New Hampshire Hospital Association. Even though some businesses are being allowed to reopen, Sununu said there are no changes to unemployment eligibility. He said if workers don't feel safe returning to work, they can stay and continue to receive benefits. All employees must require employees who are sick or not feeling well to stay home, and employees must call their employer to let them know if they're sick. Employers must also develop a screening process for all employees, including identifying a screening place and a person to ask workers whether they have any symptoms, typically of coronavirus infection, or if they have come in contact with anyone who has a confirmed case of COVID-19. The temperature of all employees must be determined daily before their shifts. Any workers who have symptoms of COVID-19 must be told to leave immediately and seek medical advice. The guidance notes that employees must maintain the confidence of employee health information. Employers must also take action to mitigate exposure of COVID-19, including maintaining social distancing and supporting the use of cloth face masks coverings where social distancing is difficult. Employees should also be allowed to work from home as much as partial. The new guidelines are in effect through May 31st. Specific guidelines have been issued for several industries: barbers, hair salons, and cosmetology. Barbers, hair salons, and cosmetology businesses can open May 11th under certain conditions. And take a look here. Campgrounds. Access to campgrounds will be available only to New Hampshire residents and members of private campgrounds. Drive-in theaters. Drive-in theaters can reopen May 11th if they follow the guidelines to protect employees and customers. Golf courses can reopen to members on May 11th if they follow specific guidelines. Hospitals will develop to begin phasing in time-sensitive procedures such as MRIs and CT scans, knee replacements, and bioapps as soon as Monday. Manufacturing has been essential business, but employees were given new guidelines to follow. Restaurants. Restaurants will be allowed to open outdoor dining areas starting on May 18th. Retail. All retail established can reopen May 11th, but the number of customers allowed inside at a time must be 50% or less of store capacity. State parks. And Seacoast beaches will remain closed. Sununu said if beaches are opened, they would likely attract an influx of visitors from Massachusetts, where infection rates are higher. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. And here's a look at that COVID-19 in New Hampshire information, what you need to know. There are 2,310 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,091,38 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 81 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 270 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 64,203 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows you where cases of COVID-19 are in towns and cities of New Hampshire. Manchester, 455 cases of COVID-19. This chart here, new cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations, and in the red are the deaths. This chart shows you current cases. In the purple, total current COVID-19 cases, and in the orange, current hospitalizations. In this chart here, cumulative totals. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases, and in the orange, total hospitalizations, in the red, deaths, and in the blue, recovered. This chart here shows you by age group. This chart here shows you by female and male. And this chart here shows you risk information. This chart here shows you race/ethnicity of cases, and this chart here shows you percent of New Hampshire population. And your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing, how it spreads, and prevention tips. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into national news. In national news, employees from some of the nation's online retail and food service companies plan to call in sick or walk out during their lunch breaks to demand more safety precautions and hazard pay. With more of that, let's listen to this report to Matt Gutman from ABC News.
Storefronts shuttered by those steel gates and going out of business signs like these seemingly popping up everywhere. About 30 million people have filed for unemployment since March 21st, more than the entire population of Texas. People unable to afford their mortgages and rent. And those that do have jobs, increasingly concerned about showing up. Some protesting for better working conditions, sick leave, and compensation during the pandemic. And today, marking May Day, employees from some of the nation's busiest companies, including Amazon, Target, Instacart, planning to walk out. Demands differ, but they all say they want better safety precautions. Concerned that shutdowns could trigger food shortages in America, the Trump administration giving meatpacking plants wide latitude to reopen, declaring them critical infrastructure.
And the good news today, I think we're having these plants prepared to open in days, not weeks. Some maybe by the end of this week.
What do we have going on? But some workers contend it's not safe enough. In Arkansas, police on Thursday escorting petitioning workers off the property at this poultry plant. That as we get our first glimpse inside a meatpacking plant, workers crowded shoulder to shoulder at a George's poultry plant in Arkansas earlier this week, packed in those hallways, masks down, with apparently no place inside to socially distance. And these images at a Tyson plant cafeteria in Arkansas in early April. Workers packed into booths. Tyson says it has added these dividers since that video was taken. And labor organizers tell us that while the meat may be safe at these plants, the workers aren't.
Waiting to see when are they gonna get sick, and if they're gonna get sick, they're gonna die. And if we don't protect them right, we are gonna see a food crisis, we're gonna see a health crisis, we're gonna see an economic crisis.
Now, President Trump's executive order basically allows these plants to reopen if they can provide written documentation that they're following OSHA and CDC guidelines. But without health inspectors on site, labor activists say that this is essentially allowing these plants to police themselves.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Coronavirus updates. Horrick, Colorado paramedic who came to help NYC dies from virus. Paula Corr, a paramedic from Colorado, came to New York to help. Today's biggest developments. Alaska Airlines, Southwest join Delta, United, and American and JetBlue requiring masks. Funeral homes license suspend after decomposing bodies found. New York schools will be closed statewide for the rest of the academic year. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into business news. And let's see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Friday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Friday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in, the red went down. Your Nasdaq closed in, the red went down. S&P 500 closed in, the red went down. Gold closed in, the green went up. Oil closed in, the green went up. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in, the green went up. And VX closed in, the green and went up. Dow drops more than 600 points to start the new month. Amazon falls 7%. Stocks slumped on Friday as shares of Amazon led the major indexes lower on the month's first day of trading. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather. And your weather right now is mostly cloudy, 60 degrees. And your weather for tonight, considerable clouds this evening, some decrease in clouds late, slight chance of a rain shower, low 42 degrees, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into New Hampshire Life. In tonight's New Hampshire Life, Viewer Choice 2020, the best tacos. Who love tacos? I love tacos. Raise your hand if you love tacos. Or comment below and let us know if you love tacos. Let's see where the best tacos are in New Hampshire. Okay, and there you go. And as you all know, Cinco de Mayo is on May 5th, but that does not mean you, even though we are in a stay-at-home order, you can still get taco takeout from restaurants. There are restaurants that are doing takeout or delivery, so go find a restaurant that is doing takeout and get some tacos. Or you can make your own tacos at home. And let's switch gears now. Let's see what's new on TV tonight for this Friday. At 8 p.m., 90 Days Fiancé Before the 90 Days on TLC at 8 p.m. Charmed on WLVIHD at 8 p.m. Friday Night SmackDown, 8 p.m. on Fox on Boston 25. Gold Rush, 8 p.m. on Discovery Channel. Live PD Rewind, 8 p.m. on A&E Channel. McGuire, 8 p.m. on CBS. RuPaul's Drag Race, 8 p.m. on VH1. Sash of Sunset, 8 p.m. on Bravo. Shark Tank, 8 p.m. on ABC. The Blacklist, 8 p.m. on NBC. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, 9 p.m. on Food Network. Dynasty, 9 p.m. on WLVI. Live PD, 9 p.m. on A&E. Magoo PI, 9 p.m. on CBS. Lottery Dreamhouse, 9 p.m. on HGTV. Sash of Sunset, 9 p.m. on Bravo. Somewhere South on New Hampshire Public TV. Lottery Dreamhouse, 9:30 p.m. on HGTV. Ralph's Paul Drag Race, 9:30 p.m. on VH1. And that is a look at what's on TV. If you want to see the rest of the list of new on TV tonight, we will share the link with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page after this broadcast. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into entertainment news. In entertainment news, Gigi Hadid and Zayn are having a baby girl. Let's take a listen to that video from Entertainment Tonight.
Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik are having a girl.
I'm feeling so overwhelmed with happiness and excitement.
On Tuesday, ET confirmed that the two were expecting their first child together. And on Wednesday, TMZ reported that they're expecting a baby girl. Now a source tells ET, quote, the couple recently found out the sex of the baby and are over the moon, adding that they are excited to be welcoming a girl to their family. The on-again, off-again couple first started dating in 2015 before announcing their split in March 2018. Then in January, they sparked reconciliation rumors when they were spotted together in New York City.
I'm seeing the pain, seeing the pleasure. Nobody but you, body but me, body but us, bodies together.
Gigi all but confirmed they were back on when she shared this pic of the former One Direction bandmate on Instagram on Valentine's Day, alongside the caption, "Hey Valentine, Z on the farm."
He's obviously so gorgeous, but really the way that we could have conversations and kind of just, we're really interested in the same things, and it was really easy.
The source tells ET that the lovebirds are now very excited about starting a family. Quote, it was like they never skipped a beat and knew what they had was special. The couple and their families are overjoyed.
Zayn is very special to me, and, he's family.
Yeah, Gigi's mama, Yolanda Hadid, told ET back in 2017 that Zayn has her stamp of approval.
He's just a really good person, he comes from very humble beginnings, so he's just a normal guy, and he's a good human being. He's special.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of Good Evening New Hampshire. Thank you for watching this evening edition of Good Evening New Hampshire. Have a great rest of your Friday night. I'll see you back here next time for another edition of Good Evening New Hampshire. Good night and bye, everyone.